Let me guess, your heart rate spikes when you check your bank account after a big month. Not because you're broke, but because you're successful. And your body's treating abundance like a threat. Most entrepreneurs think anxiety comes from not having enough. But I work with 7-figure founders who panic when things go too well. Their nervous system literally interprets success as danger. And until you understand why your body's fighting your biggest goals, you'll keep building businesses that burn you out instead of set you free. I spent years wondering why achievement felt so dangerous, why every milestone brought more anxiety instead of more peace. And the first time I made 6 figures, I literally felt empty inside. I found myself literally on the floor freaking crying because I didn't hit the bigger goal that I was supposed to hit out of my ego. And I had to back out of an investment that I made with a coach. I felt so crappy inside, even though I had made literally more than 10 times my previous income. Something was fundamentally broken in how my body was responding to success. And what I discovered changes everything about how we think about struggle, achievement, and why some people thrive while others burn out. When someone's in a fight or flight response, it shows up as micro tensions. They feel either an emotion or tension in the area of what's called an addicted or an allergic spot. Most people don't even see it that way because we just cope with it and we think it's natural phenomena. So it's not. It's actually totally not natural to have tension and frustration all the time. But your body's constantly sending you signals about what feels safe and what feels dangerous. And for most high performers, ease actually feels dangerous. Peace feels dangerous. Having enough feels dangerous. I bet you felt this way, haven't you? That relentless discomfort when things are going too smoothly, or that urge to create a problem when there really isn't one. Your cells have been trained to interpret struggle as safety and success as a threat that needs to be eliminated. But here's where it gets really interesting, because once you understand this, you can actually reprogram it. And let me give you an example real quick. I was playing soccer as a defender when something clicked and everything just flowed. I literally just turned on my inner offensive beast mode, and I moved through the offense, past the midfield, through the defenders, and scored. Yet that wasn't my role, nor my skill set, but it felt so easy and natural. I didn't even have to think about it. The problem was that I couldn't duplicate it because my identity didn't match that. I was a defender. And yet, this is what aligned success feels like. It's effortless, it's natural, it's like the path of least resistance becomes the path of most impact. Cool. But most of us can't sustain it because our identity says, that's not who I am. Our cells say, that's not safe. And our nervous system says, go back to struggling. Or in my case, go back to being a defender. But here's the thing, most of us can't sustain it because our identity says, that's not who I am. Our cells say, that's not safe. Our nervous system says, go back to struggling. You see, everything is a choice, and the only reason that you struggle is because it feels like it's not a choice. When your body is aligned with your goals, success becomes as natural as that flow state. But when your body's fighting your goals, even small wins feel dangerous. And this doesn't just show up in business, it shows up everywhere. I had a client named Kiana who was on the verge of divorce while running a multi-million-dollar company. And after aligning, she was able to get to where she actually loves her marriage again and continues to scale her business. And so for me personally, throughout the years, I've always wanted to have a powerful relationship. However, I watched my parents go through like 7 different divorces, and it was really hard for me to show up powerfully because I would always self-sabotage. I was terrified I'd repeat the patterns of my parents, and I did. And I would literally force my wife into kind of like a more masculine, overwhelmed place where I would take this passive place, almost like a victimhood. And I learned that this was actually an addictive cycle. I had to shift out of it so that I could be in a place of power and provide while allowing her to be in a place of safety where she could also thrive with what she wanted. You see, you rise to the level of responsibility that you put on yourself. And if your cells don't believe you deserve that level of responsibility, you will sabotage it every single time. And here's what most people don't understand. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred. So all we're doing is we're taking the resistance, which is energy, and we're transferring it into productivity and success. And your body is already generating massive amounts of energy right now. The question is, are you using that energy to create or to destroy? Every micro tension, every anxious thought, every moment of resistance, that's all energy. And it's either working for you or against you. Now, when I work with clients using the cellular alignment technique, we're not adding energy. What we're doing is we're redirecting it. Taking the energy that was creating resistance and pointing it toward their goals instead. And change can happen literally in minutes. It doesn't have to take years. Now, everything you do, you're either creating or destroying. It's a choice of what you put the energy into. But here's the key. It only feels like a choice when your whole body supports it. And when your cells are aligned with your vision, choosing success feels easy, natural, and obvious. Now, here's the thing. When your cells are fighting your vision, choosing success feels impossible. Like swimming upstream, like you're betraying some fundamental part of yourself. The work isn't about forcing yourself to make better choices. The work is about getting your body to the place where better choices feel natural. It's like where ease doesn't feel lazy, where abundance doesn't feel greedy, where success doesn't feel dangerous. And most people think transformation literally takes years of therapy, months of mindset work, decades of personal development. But when you go to the cellular level, everything shifts in minutes. Your body has been running the same protective patterns for years, maybe even decades. But those patterns were learned, which means they can be unlearned. And once your cells align with your goals, instead of fighting them, success stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like home. You stop creating problems to feel valuable. You stop sabotaging wins to feel familiar. You stop choosing to struggle to feel worthy. You actually start living from choice instead of compulsion, from alignment instead of resistance, from flow instead of force. If you've been wondering why success feels dangerous, or why achievement brings anxiety instead of peace, or why your body seems to fight your biggest goals, you're not broken. Your cells have just been trained to interpret ease as danger. But that training can be changed in minutes, not years. So if you're ready to experience a change in your life like this, I'd love for you to watch this next video. And if you haven't yet, be sure and click the subscribe button and join me on this movement as we discover what's possible when we take the leap and go all in on becoming who we know we're meant to be. Until next time, be unstoppable.